Okay, so we are moving on to lab number 3, and we are currently in part 1. So we are exploring the Pueblo Bonita site. Before beginning your research into the age and paleoclimate of the Pueblo Bonita site, it is important to understand the setting and context of the region you are studying. How would you describe the site? What type of trees and vegetation grow there? Are there samples of ancient wood left to analyze within the ruins? Scientists would also do background research to better understand the culture and history of the people who inhabited the site. Climate extremes, such as drought, can have a large impact on society and can drive human migration. Understanding the connection between climate and people through time can be very interesting and exciting research. In this activity, you will explore Pueblo Bonita and the surrounding countryside using Google Maps. So you've probably used Google Maps in the past before. Right-click on the Google Maps site and open it in a window. Type Pueblo Bonito, Choco Canyon in the search box, and when the map comes up, click Satellite View. Get a new tab. I am just going to copy that. All right, so here is the satellite view. So let's get started by getting a better sense of the scale of this place. Zoom into the site so the entire semicircular ruin is clearly shown. Control-click for a Mac or right-click for a PC to bring up a menu of options. So here's the semicircle. Select Measure Distance and drag a little white measuring dot to one corner of the pueblo. Click on the other end of the longest side to measure the length in feet. I'm going to zoom out slightly. Measure distance. All right, so I got from one side to the other, so I'm going to hide that. So my total distance is 533 feet. So you want to record that because that is going to be your answer to number 1. And then you're also going to want to do it from the top to the bottom. And that is around 316. So again, that is going to be your answer to question number 1 on your worksheet. The round structures you see in the pueblo are called kievs. They were built underground and were covered by a roof with a hole in it to let smoke escape. The smaller kievs were probably used by individual households for ritual purposes, as well as a variety of routine daily activities such as food preparation, cooking, eating, and sleeping. They differ in their function from the much larger kievs, which were public buildings, believed to have served as religious, economic, or government centers for the entire community. The rectangular shapes are individual family dwellings called pit houses. Families of 4 to 6 individuals inhabited each one. Measure the length and width of an average-sized dwelling. So these big ones would be the religious centers. We want to find a little one, something more like that. Oh goodness. So that one's about 15. You can measure this one here. That one's about 17. So they're little. I mean, could you imagine living in something that small? It's really just a one-room house. And think about how that compares to the size of your bedroom. On average, bedrooms are somewhere around 12 by 14 feet. A pit house was like 15 to 17 feet. So it's the whole house is about the size of maybe one room in your house. And remember that 4 to 6 people lived in that house. So, they all slept in that area together. You didn't have any alone time or any place to go to get privacy. You can explore Pueblo Bonita and have a ground level view by dropping the little man icon on the bottom right of the screen into different parts of the ruin. Drop into the edges of the ruin and look at the surrounding countryside. So let's see, I've never used the little man icon. But here he is right here. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. To determine the age of the ruins and site's paleoclimate, scientists would locate wood samples for analysis. The builders used wooden posts and beams to support roofs and windows in these structures. Search for a sample of wood you think would be used for research purposes. If you're having trouble finding wood samples, look for what looks like circles in the walls. Take a screenshot of the wood sample and place it on your activity sheet. So you're looking for any type of circle that you could find within the walls. And that is generally where a piece of wood could be found. So stuff like inside here, this would probably be where you would be able to find some wood. So you could just take a screenshot of something like that so that you can place it on your paper. Besides the presence of a few trees along the wash south of the ruin, you probably noticed the barren landscape surrounding the pueblo. The same was probably true more than 1,000 years ago when builders of the pueblo began construction. Scientists estimate that 2,400,000 trees were used in the building of multi-story structures in the pueblo. Where did this enormous number of trees used to build the pit houses come from? Groups of workers likely had to travel great distances to find suitable trees and bring them back to Pueblo Bonito. Zoom out of the pueblo until you can see large green patches that mark forests that would be great sources of trees. Be sure to look at the satellite view on Google Maps and choose a likely area and click on it to reveal the name of that location. So maybe something like this would be kind of a green area. So that is New Mexico. Click on the Directions tab. Your present location should be in the top of the search box. Click the hiker icon and type Pueblo Bonito, New Mexico. I am not exactly sure what the hiker icon is. You could not calculate walking directions. So on average, that would probably take about 21 hours one way. And if you were going in the opposite direction, it would take about 27 hours to reach the nearest area. So teams of workers might take a week or more to travel to and from a site with just one single tree. So it took them quite a long time to get from one area to another. Many archaeologists believe that Pueblo Bonito in Choco Canyon was a special gathering place where many peoples converged to share their ceremonies, traditions, and knowledge. They may have traded goods or shared ideas on building construction of their pueblos, architecture, and similar modes of construction that can be seen at other Pueblo sites such as Aztec Ruins National Monument in New Mexico and Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. To get a sense of just how remote Pueblo Bonito is, get directions from those two places, change your travel options to driving to walking, and now do the same for Mesa Verde, and think about the distance between these two areas. We're going to answer these three questions here. So, question number 3, we're going to describe the site based on your observations. Be sure to emphasize the types of vegetation you see, water, lack thereof, etc. So, basically, it's a pretty dry site, and it has limited vegetation. You're not going to see a whole lot of stuff there. Post a picture of a wood sample. I showed you where you would find that at. Describe the journey that residents of Pueblo would take to obtain timber suitable for the construction of their buildings. So they went to the mountains. If they went to the mountains on the west, travel time would be about 21 hours one way. Mountains on the east, travel time would be about 27 hours one way. So again, the teams of workers would take about a week or more to travel from one site to another with just a tree. So your house isn't going to be built very quick. How long would it take residents of Pueblo Bonito to travel to the Aztec ruins settlement by foot? And how long would it take to travel to Mesa Verde? So you could do your directions up here again, and it would take residents of Pueblo Bonito about 22 hours to walk to the Aztec ruins settlement. And for Mesa Verde, it would take about 44-mile hike to reach Pueblo Bonito. So again, it's multiple days that these guys are going to be moving around. All right, that is it for part 1 of this exercise.